The Teikou Middle School Basketball Club had a group of 5 prodigies known as the Generation of Miracles. However, there was another member recognized by them called the Phantom Sixth Man. On the club's day at Seirin Private High School, 2 new first-year students, Taiga Kagami and Tetsuya Kuroko, joined the basketball club. The club's coach, Riko Ada, examines the body physique of all new members. She is taken aback after seeing Kagami's impressive body, but sees no potential in Kuroko's, who is revealed to be the 6th phantom member of the Generation of Miracles. However, he reveals his true talent during a practice match against second years. Even though he cannot make the easiest shot, he can pass the ball anywhere by misdirecting his opponent's attention, which shocks everyone. Later that night, Kagami meets Kuroko and asks if he can defeat the Generation of Miracles. Kuroko reveals that in his current state, he will be destroyed in seconds. However, he will help Kagami become the best player in Japan. The following day, while sitting with Kuroko, Kagami asks him why he didn't go to the same school as the other 5 members. Kuroko says that when he was in middle school, their core principle was winning is everything, but he lacked teamwork, which disgusts him. That's why his ultimate goal is to defeat the Generation of Miracles and become the best in Japan. Later, the coach reveals that they have a practice match with Keijo High School tomorrow, which surprises everyone. Suddenly, Kizei Ryota, a former member of the Generation of Miracles from Keijo High School, arrives at Seirin High School and meets Kuroko and others. Watching him, Kagami instantly challenges him, but Kizei defeats him easily. Afterward, Kizei offers Kuroko to join their team, but Kuroko respectfully declines his offer. The following day, the Seirin basketball team goes to Keijo High School and is shocked to see that Keijo's coach, Takuchi, has divided the court in half because he thinks playing with Seirin is not more than a waste of time. However, as the game starts, Kuroko instantly snatches the ball, allowing Kagami to score the first point and break the hoop. Takuchi gets frustrated and leaves no choice but to open the full court. The game continues with both teams scoring points like crazy, but Kuroko realizes that his high-paced game is making him and Kagami tired. Seirin team takes a timeout in which Kuroko reveals that he can no longer move effectively. Due to this, the team changes its format to defend the middle. However, the Keijo team keeps scoring and the gap gets bigger. The first quarter ends with Keijo in the lead by 8 points. On the other hand, Seirin forms their new strategy and Kagami starts coordinating with Kuroko in passing the ball, which results in Seirin winning the game. The match continues, but Kizei accidentally hits Kuroko and slightly injures him. Kuroko has to sit on the bench while the seniors, including the captain Hyuga Junpei, Izuki, Mitobe Rinosuke, and Kogane Shinji, continue their struggle to win. The gap between them increases, and Kuroko re-enters the game, making the score tied up. The game ends with Kagami scoring the last points in the last seconds, defeating Keijo by 2 points. Kizei gets shocked to think that he has lost for the first time in his life. He starts crying, but his team cheers him up. Afterwards, Midorima, the Generation of Miracles' #1 shooter, meets Kizei and scolds him for his loss. Meanwhile, the Seirin team celebrates its victory in a steakhouse and returns to their home. The Inter-High preliminaries will be starting as a tournament in 3 weeks. It contains 4 blocks. The winner of each block will be competing in the Champions League. The top 3 teams from the Championship League for Inter-High. Their first match will be against Shinkyo High School and a 2-meter-tall new recruit from Senegal named Papa Mbe Siki. After that, the team starts preparing for the tournament for 3 weeks. The tournament day arrives, and the match between Shinkyo and Seirin finally starts. Seirin faces difficulties against the huge height of Papa until they apply the defensive techniques they have been practicing, and Kagami scores a point with the help of Kuroko. The match continues, and Seirin defeats Shinkyo by 12 points. After that, Seirin defeats Jitsuzan and Kinga High School even with Kuroko on the bench for the whole game. Afterward, when Shutoku High arrives for its match with Kinka High School, Kagami meets Midorima and tells him that they will win the Championship League against them. After watching Shutoku's match, Seirin learns that they will play against Seiho in the semifinal and Shotoku in the finals. Seirin will be facing Seiho, the school with the best defense in Japan, in the semifinals. As the match begins, Seirin faces difficulties playing against Seiho's intense man-to-man defense that even Kuroko is unable to make his amazing pass. During their timeout, Riko informs Seirin that Seiho's team is using the antiquated martial arts movement techniques to balance their movements. After that, Kagami with his new idea outraces Kasuga with his speed and manages to score the first point. The first quarter ends with both teams having equal points, but Kagami has already made 3 fouls while dealing with Seiho's defense, Sugawa. The match continues and the duo manages to score more points against their ultimate defense. However, after Kagami makes his 4th foul, he and Kuroko are benched while the other seniors struggle their battle to win. Having almost 5 minutes in the match with Seiho in the lead with 6 points, Kuroko returns to the match. As the match continues, Kuroko again with his lack of presence makes easy pass for his team. On the other hand, the seniors also break through Seiho's ultimate defense and score points one after another. The match ends with Hyuga scoring 3 points and defeating Seiho with 1 point. After a short break, Seirin finally faces Shotoku in the finals. The match begins with Kagami going straight for the bucket, but Midorima blocks him and scores 3 points instantly. However, Kuroko suddenly captures the ball and immediately throws the ball on the other end to Kagami, allowing him to score 2 points. With Kuroko's lack of presence, they force Midorima to shut down, but all other players of Shotoku keep up the pace. Shotoku's coach, watching Kuroko's abilities, sends Tako on his back. Tako starts doing the same pass as Kuroko and interrupting him in his passes, forcing him to shut down as well. The match continues, and Midorima returns in his form. He scores 3 points from the center line. The first quarter ends with Midorima shooting a full-court shot, making a lead with 6 points. The second quarter starts, and Midorima continues to do 3-point shots while Tako keeps interrupting Kuroko's pass, making him shut down in all possible ways. The second quarter ends with Shotoku leading with a massive difference. Kagami starts interrupting Midorima with his long shots, but the game continues at a high pace. After some shots, Kagami somehow manages to block Midorima's shots. After that, he starts playing faster and more aggressively, leading the team and closing the point gap all alone, simultaneously making himself tired. The third quarter ends with Shotoku leading with only 14 points. However, when the team is resting for a while, Kuroko suddenly punches Kagami in the face, telling him there is no point in winning the game alone. Kagami hits Kuroko back but gets calmed afterwards. The last quarter of the game begins and Kagami starts coordinating with other players instead of charging like before. The game continues, but Kagami can only jump for 2 more times. He intends to use one in crucial time of the game, and one to stop Midorima's first shot. As Midorima tries to score his 3-point shot, Kagami jumps and blocks his shot. On the other hand, Kuroko also manages to avoid Tako's interruption and passes the ball to Kagami, allowing him to jump once more and score 2 points. Both teams struggle to win, but the match ends with Seirin winning with only 1 point. After eating with Kize, Kasamatsu, Midorima, and Tako at a nearby restaurant, the team continues its training. Later, while they are training in the pool, Momoi, the former manager of the Generation of Miracles, arrives there and introduces herself as Kuroko's girlfriend, which surprises everyone. On the other hand, one of the Generation of Miracles, Aomine, meets Kagami and challenges him to a game. Kagami accepts the challenge, but gets easily defeated. Seirin's first match in the Inter-High Championships is against Aomine and Momoi's school, Tuu. On the other hand, Aomine, being the strongest player in the Generation of Miracles, have stopped coming to practices. However, the match between Tuu and Seirin High begins, but Aomine, being careless, oversleeps at school, decides to join the match by the second half. On the other hand, Seirin decides to score more points before Aomine joins, but faces difficulties in doing so. The match continues, and Tuu takes the early lead with the help of Momoi's data analysis. However, She cannot predict Kuroko's movements, which helps Seirin to catch up with them. The first quarter ends with Tuu having 4 points lead. As the second quarter starts, Kagami faces difficulties because of his injuries due to the last match. Riko, realizing Kagami is injured, subs him off the court and tapes his legs. Without Kagami playing in the second quarter, Seirin is behind by 10 points. Suddenly, Aomine arrives and gets ready to play. Aomine plays one-on-one against Kagami and beats him with his speed. However, when he is about to score a bucket, Kagami suddenly jumps higher again and blocks his shot. The match continues, and the second quarter ends with Tuu leading with 10 points. As the third quarter starts, Aomine proves to be incredibly swift and agile than Kagami and beats him and Seirin's block using the street ball method. He scores a point with the shot from behind the basket. Aomine keeps destroying Seirin and takes a lead of 20 points until Kuroko returns to the court and starts reducing the gap. However, Aomine captures all of Kuroko's ignite pass with ease. The struggle continues, but Kagami is unable to keep going due to his leg injury, forcing him to sit on the bench and eventually lose the game with a large gap. After the tournament, Kagami is prescribed 2 weeks of complete rest by the doctor while the team continues its practice for the upcoming Winter Cup. Former ace and Seirin basketball team founder Kiyoshi Teppei returns to the team as he was hospitalized before. The Winter Cup qualifying matches will be starting right after summer vacation. To get ready for it, Riko announces 2 summer training camps on the beach and the mountains. At the beach, they encounter Teikou School, who is also there for training. The coaches of Seirin and Teikou decide to practice with each other. During the training, Kagami practices to jump even more higher and realizes that to defeat the Generation of Miracles, he must improve his ball handling. Later, the team goes to watch the inter-high match between Tuu and Kaijo. As the match begins, Aomine takes the lead, blocking Kise's shots. However, Kaijo regains momentum again and takes lead in the first quarter. As the second quarter begins, Aomine gets serious and makes the score level in the first few minutes. The game continues, and Kise starts copying Aomine's shot completely, but Aomine still leads with 8 points. The match comes to an end with Tuu defeating Kaijo High with 10 points. On the other hand, watching the fierce game, Kagami and Kuroko are motivated to perfect their basketball style. We hope you enjoyed this video. Take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. See you next time!